Right, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you a really simple solution to help you tackle a really common problem that we have with lawns through autumn, and that's dealing with lawn disease. I'll be going over which products to use and how you should apply them as well to get yourself the best results, because it's not just how you apply it, it's also when you apply it as well. So let's get into then how you actually know if you have disease in your lawn. Now, I do have to start by saying that the sun is the best thing at kind of hiding any imperfections in a lawn, particularly if you get quite far back. Lawns can almost look completely flawless. However, this lawn isn't flawless, not to any extent anyway. You can't quite see it very well at the moment. When it's shady, it stands like a sore thumb, and when I cut the lawn in a minute, it is going to be more obvious. But we do have a few patches knocking around. If we just get the shadow over that part of the grass there and zoom in, you can see we have patches like this where we have a little bit of discoloration. Sometimes the patches can look a little bit brown, sometimes they can almost have a bit of a yellow tinge to them too. And as we go across the lawn, we do have quite a few. What I'll do is I'll give the lawn a quick cut and it might make them a little bit more obvious. There we go. Now that I've actually cut the lawn, and we also have a little bit more shade cover over here, you can see, just get in right over the top here, you can see where we have these spots of yellow, these spots of brown, and for the most part you can tell now they go all the way across the lawn, and this is basically a type of lawn disease. It's a bit of a fungal problem that this lawn has, and it's not horrendous, but it will become horrendous if we don't deal with the problem swiftly. The reason why we get this kind of fungal disease during the autumn is because of the conditions that we have. So for any kind of fungus to thrive, we need two things. We need moisture and we need warmth. This summer in particular has been quite a dry one, and as we've got into the autumn, we've almost had like nothing but rain. Like, this is one of the very few dry days that we've actually had recently. So the fact that we've had quite a lot of moisture, but also as well, we've still had kind of fairly decent temperatures. You're talking sort of like 16 to 20 degrees every day pretty much for the past few weeks. That's meant that it's been the perfect arena for disease to thrive. I had this disease on my back lawn last year I think it was at the back end of July, start of August time, and that's because we had quite a wet summer last year compared to what we've had this year. So to deal with this problem, we either need to remove the warm temperature or the moisture. Now, it obviously goes without saying that we can't remove the temperature unless you get some sort of like air conditioning underneath the soil. It's not going to happen, so we have to deal with the moisture instead. And you can easily do that by using a product like this. This is just basically soluble iron. Iron's going to be your best friend when it comes to the disease, because what it does is when you apply it to the lawn in a liquid form, it'll draw the moisture out of the leaf, which means then it becomes much more resistant to the disease. It's not the fact that it's going to kill the disease off, but what it will do is stop it from spreading any further and just help the grass to be able to kind of recover on its own. This little pot here is from Amazon. It's around about £10. I did order a big monster bag, around about 25 kilo from Agrigem, but there's a bit of a delay in that being delivered, so that was about £45 I think with delivery for a 25 kilo bag. However, this thing's only 1 kilo for £10, so you decide whatever it is you want to go with if you are going to do a process like this yourself. I think it's much better getting the bigger bag as opposed to getting it in these small quantities, because the stuff I'm going to be getting soon is going to last me for years and years. Now, you can buy this stuff in a pre-mixed liquid form, but often it's a much weaker concentration, so it's anywhere from kind of like 7 to 9% I think, whereas this stuff is on the higher end. It's around about 19%, so you're going to get much better results by mixing some of this soluble stuff yourself. Now, ideally you want to get on with around about 5 grams per square metre to deal with any kind of disease you might have. So I've got roughly 20 square metres out at the front, so I'm going to get on with about 100 grams of this. I'll try to come in like big massive clumps. This is again why I've gone with the Agrigem stuff, so it's not massive and clumpy like this, but we can only work with what we've got today. There we go, bang on 100 on the scale. Now, it really doesn't matter a whole lot how much water you mix it with. It does say on this you need however many litres per amount of the product, but if you've calibrated your sprayer, then it doesn't really matter. I know that it takes roughly 700 or so, 600 to 700 millilitres on the front lawn. So I'm going to take this to 700 ml, and then what we'll do is take our iron, we'll mix it in with it. What I'm going to do is make sure to give this a really good mix with the old spoon before we put it into the spray, because I don't want any of these solid pieces still being there. So it'll take a little bit of time to dissolve. Once it's fully dissolved, whack it in your knapsack sprayer, and jobs are good. And just make sure you don't get any of this on your hard surfaces, because it is going to stain. Hence why I'm going to go with the trusty gloves as well, protect the old fingers. See, there are still some really small pieces there. If you're not careful, these can end up getting jammed in your sprayer, and then you're not going to get a really good application of it. There we go, that seems to be pretty much fully dissolved. Now the ideal time to apply this would be in the morning, because if you apply it early doors, then there's still going to be a little bit of dew on the grass, and then as the day goes on and as that dew evaporates, then it means that the product's more easily able to sort of absorb itself into the plant. With me and the wife having a newborn at the moment, kind of deciding to come out whenever I want isn't really on the cards, so I've kind of got to do what I can do. There's actually enough just for one pass slowly across the lawn, which is going to do the job absolutely perfectly well. So all you've got to do now is just give it a little bit of time to do its thing. You're talking a few days. With something like a liquid iron, it's going to sort of activate quite fast. You will notice a bit of a green up within sort of the first 2 to 3 days of applying it, and you'll notice the disease starts to go pretty quick too. So thanks for watching today's video. If you found it useful at all, feel free to give the video a like. And if you want to follow along with any more of these kinds of videos, then consider subscribing if you haven't already. There's lots of lawn care on this channel already. We're not doing things for the sake of it. We only do stuff as and when we need to. We've not done any autumn renovations so far because the lawns haven't needed them. And if you want to put yourself into a similar position yourself this time next year, then consider checking out the videos that are on this channel, because we're keeping lawn care simple. We're breaking through the jargon, just trying to give you some really good advice, great advice, in order to give yourself a really boss lawn. So yeah, cheers for watching. If you want to check out the results, what I will do is post a YouTube short within the next week, so you can see exactly how the front lawn is looking post the application of the iron. And I'll also be doing an update video on the channel soon as well, talking about all 3 lawns, the condition they're in, and sort of what we're expecting of them now that we're getting sort of towards the middle of October, because all we're trying to do at the moment is to get these lawns to survive well through winter. So yeah, finally, thanks for watching.